Tantalizing, delightful, theatrical. We are all wagering on this to be the clash of an age. Two titans of the modern game in every respect, the clubs, the managers, Carlo Ancelotti and Pep Guardiola, who met last season in the semis where Real Madrid came out winners 6-5 on aggregate.
This is a fight to get into the final of Europe's elite competition. Room for Bernardo Silva here. Gabriel Jesus makes a run. Comes to Morris on that left foot, and Morris's left foot does the damage and may well be sending Manchester City into the Champions League final. 1-0 on the night, 5-3 on aggregate. Benzema has done very well to get it across, and they have scored. And Rodrigo nipped in, but is it too late? Carlo Ancelotti hopes not. Believe it, Rodrigo again. Unbelievable. Manchester City had the place in the final in the palm of their hands. And Real Madrid had to dig deep, and look what they found. It is extra time, extraordinarily, at the Bernabeu. Shakira goes Benzema. Penalty for Real Madrid. Such a pivotal moment in a wonderful semi-final. They're ahead from the depths of despair to the heights of ecstasy. Real Madrid.
To this day, that turnaround by Real Madrid haunts Pep Guardiola. A minute from the 90 with the two-goal advantage, and somehow City lost the handle and cut themselves with a blade. I'm not sure if we're anticipating a high-scoring encounter this time around, Eric Rademacher. But what are you thinking in terms of it being that open again?
I mean, I do look at the two teams, and Madrid is great at counter-attacking football from back in the day, from Ronaldo already as well. And I look at City, and City is very strong, almost on all aspects of the game. They're really playing great. But I do think when you look, especially how he plays with a three-man backline now, with Stones moved in the midfield, I think in transition there are moments for Madrid to really quickly go into the attack and don't slow down speed with Vinicius Jr., with Valverde, who's very attacking and direct. And I think there are moments for Madrid to kind of go on that one. But I don't expect it to be as open as I think Madrid will play somewhat a conservative first half and try to wait for these moments. So quality match though, with a lot of good matchups.
Juan, Real Madrid, they're looking for their 19th final appearance, right? They're coming off success of the Copa del Rey. Now, they've won too many trophies to have a hangover in the aftermath of that success just a couple of days ago. How focused do you think they are in the aftermath of them winning that trophy to now be in this semi-final first leg against City?
Donald, it's Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You win a title, what do? You win the next one, and you win the next one, and you win the next one. I mean, there's things that are inexplicable when it comes to life itself. Astrophysics, thinking about life beyond, the enthusiasm and the commentary in that goal, and of course, Real Madrid winning in the Champions League. Sometimes it's inexplicable because they just have this pedigree, they have this mystique, they have this thing that's totally intangible and illogical at times that makes them go there. But the demands of a Real Madrid, the demands of a club that big, the biggest club in the world right now, or actually they are the biggest club in the world, no doubt about it. They have that demand that they constantly have to win, and they have to have the players with that mentality to do it, and they have to do it once again because for them, yeah, they won 14 Champions Leagues, but it's not enough because they need to win a 15th.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Simon, let's go down to the brass tacks here, because if you look at the games in recent times involving Real Madrid, to be fair, they haven't quite got out of first or even second gear, right? And they have managed to give chances early on. We remember a couple of chances that they would have given to Chelsea, and Chelsea haven't really been firing on all cylinders. But of course, they didn't take those chances. Do you see something like that at play here against the City team?
No, because I think when they get to this end of this stage of the season, exactly what Juan was talking about there kicks in. We've seen Real Madrid win the Champions League not playing well until the final. We've seen them win finals by not playing particularly well, but they find ways to win games because of that mentality, because of that culture that they have around them. So no, I don't think we'll see a below par Real Madrid. I think we'll see an effective Real Madrid. I agree that it could be a tighter one, maybe a little bit more cautious start to it, because I think City probably won't press as much as they have been doing at times this season, because Real Madrid are very good at playing through the press and then getting Modric into those spaces in the gaps and so on. So I think it might be a little bit more cautious at the start, but as soon as we get a goal in this game, and you think there will be a few, as soon as we get a goal in this game, it will start to open up, and then we see what they're both made of.
Eric, just an additional point here in terms of the players that they have to face. City would have faced a Rodrigo over the weekend from Leeds. He pulled a goal back for them, right? But it's a different Rodrigo that's given them nightmares from last season. He's now coming into form, scoring, I think, a couple of braces in his last couple of games, heading into this first leg semi-final. How dangerous of a player is he against the setup of Manchester City?
I think in general he's been a player who's been dangerous, but what he's, I think, adding to his game lately now is kind of that quality in front of the goal. So not just danger on the dribble with his passing, but especially when Vinicius has the ball on the left side, becoming that second striker in the box with Benzema, and now actually putting those goals on the board. We saw it over the weekend when they won the cup, 2 goals from him in similar fashion. And I think for him to add that to his game is dangerous for City, as I say, especially if they get caught in transition with a backline that might be a 3 players. Movement from that opposite winger when Vinicius has the ball, has a good 1v1 against Walker, can be something very dangerous.
Juan, we've had this discussion already in terms of giving youngsters time. We had it in regards to Vinicius and Rodrigo as well. How impressed have you been by their maturity on the biggest stage for Real Madrid?
Well, they come from one of the biggest clubs in South America, and they already had the spotlight on them since they've been 16, 17 years of age. If you see how they had to comport themselves at teams like Flamengo, like Santos, and teams of that ilk, they were already accustomed to that. And not only that, seeing their background, they've even said, hey, you know what? The pressure that I have at the Bernabeu doesn't compare to the pressure that I had when I was a kid trying to survive. When you look at it from that perspective, it gives you a totally different vantage point as to what they're seeing. And now, let's keep in mind, let's use Vinicius as far as the main example here. Vinicius, the first season at Real Madrid, didn't really do too well. He was struggling to adapt, but it really took him about a year to get his feet under him to truly start to understand how to play at Real Madrid, until the last couple of years where he's been one of the most dominating players in world football.
And to be fair, it does help that they have the perfect foil in Eric Benzema, because he has been that rock, especially at the front, in guiding and molding them along.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect combination as well when you look at players like Vinicius, like Rodrigo. Not just, that they are persons who can, really use a striker who's up top, but also in experience. When we see what Benzema, I saw some picture earlier, I think in 2014 or 2015 with Madrid when Ancelotti won with them, and we see a young Benzema. It's really somebody who went through a lot in his career, not just at Madrid, but with the France national team. And to have that experience along with you up front can really be great for not just the performance of a Vinicius and a Rodrigo, but also the development of these players. So it's a very valuable piece that they're very happy to have with him today.
Yeah, we've heard, Eric, that there were times when they just couldn't get along up top, Karim and Vinicius, but that has obviously been.
I think there were some don't pass the ball to him, and You know, but sometimes you have to earn those things. And as we mentioned, Vinicius didn't have a great first season, and sometimes you come in as a youngster, you don't perform well. You might have a lot of confidence and a little arrogance with you. I don't know how it went, but sometimes you earn those rights, and Vinicius has definitely earned that.
Let's talk about Manchester City now, because Erling Haaland is now the record holder for most Premier League goals in a season, and obviously he's in fantastic form. He's been averaging a goal every 58 minutes in the Champions League as well. So obviously he's prime to take the spotlight at this stage, because I reckon that's why he was bought, for City to go over that hurdle, that final hurdle, and win the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big objective of them, and when you say it, every goal, every 58 minutes, that is...
Which is lowest ratio, by the way, in football.
In the Champions League, that is, you know, the highest top league. So it's crazy when you think of it. You know, we have Mr. Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo, but if Haaland continues like that, he really is challenging for that title.
Simon, they have to cross the line now with Haaland up top, right? Because that was the missing piece. That's what everybody's been saying. Haaland is a missing piece. He's the top striker. He's been banging in goals. City are the favourites. End of story.
Well, I think they are the favourites, but they're only like 45% favourites. You know, it's Real Madrid we're talking about here. You know, and City have a habit of messing it up at this stage. There's no getting away from it. We can talk about whether Guardiola overthinks the tactics or whether City don't have the mentality and all the topics, but what we can see consistently throughout the Guardiola era with Manchester City is they get to the final stages of this tournament and something goes badly wrong. So, you know, what happened last year was a ridiculous example of that, being a minute away from the final. But I think this City side is stronger with Haaland, primarily not just because of his goals, which are of course a huge factor. He just doesn't miss chances. But on top of that, I think it gives them another way of playing. And at the start of the season, some people were saying, they've forgotten how to play the City way because Haaland he's like a magnet, he's attracting everything towards him and so on. They've worked out that they can play their style of football, and then when it's not working, they can go direct to Haaland, and it's very effective either way.
Juan John Stones has been a bit of a revelation, because we speak about Guardiola tactics, right? And quite often he has been criticized at this stage of the tournament that he tinkers a little bit too much. But has he found that formula in the utilization of John Stones at times in the middle of the park?
Oh, I mentioned it. Actually, I did commentary at Fulham City the other day, and I mentioned John Stones because I guess you can say he became that Joshua Kimmich, if you will, in City, that defender that all of a sudden goes forward, that is able to play in the middle, that's able to advance in the attack as a midfielder basically, and play as a holding midfielder as well. So you can use him in a variety of positions and ways. I've really been impressed with him. And I'm not saying that he's the most improved player. I guess he's the player that's evolved the most over the past year and a half, or maybe past the 6 months, if you want to look at it from that perspective as well. I really like how he's going forward, how he's being utilized in a different way. And as a matter of fact, and I'll be completely honest, and I'll raise my hand, I'm guilty of it. I've seen different things, different facets of his play emerge even more so this season than any other season, based on his utilization, and some things that I didn't even realize he had in his toolbox until he's been able to play the way he's been playing this year.
Well, we're going to hear from one of their midfielders now, one of City's midfielders, and we're talking about Rodri here, and he has been quite impressive as well this season. Let's hear what he had to say as he was looking ahead to this first leg semi against Real Madrid.
Yeah, as you said, I think football gives you the option to go have revenge. Of course, I have the philosophy, and I think all my teammates have the philosophy that you can always learn about the past experiences. We did a great 2 games, but at the end football was like this. We didn't go through, but we are here again to fight again with illusion, with motivation, with the feeling that we're doing the things very, very good this year, and we arrive, I think, in the best moment. And yeah, as I tell you, we try to learn about what we can improve, what we did bad in that moment.
It was just in Rodri talking about football giving you a chance for revenge after what happened last season. Is there a danger, though, that the players could be distracted by what they have to do tomorrow night if revenge...
will be a huge mistake. We are not here for revenge, just for an opportunity.
Yeah.
What happened in the past. So the past, they deserve it at the end because they want it. And always I believe in football, when you want it, it's because you deserve it. I'm going to say that we were not proper team to fight to reach the final next season. No, we were. We did everything, more than everything, to reach the final. But football is not enough. So hopefully we can learn and play better in the last minutes, or score the goals, that the incredible chances, or maybe Courtois don't have the big night that they had in the both games, or you know, or be better. So the lesson we can learn from last season is not here to make a revenge. You know, learn a little bit what happened, to get a good result, to perform well tomorrow, and give the opportunity to reach the final open in Manchester.
Pep Guardiola has lost six Champions League semis, the joint most with Jose Mourinho. So, you know, he can say anything, Eric Rademacher, but there are certain things that will be on his mind heading into this fixture.
I mean, I do truly believe you see more and more that approach, that we just have to learn from what we did, and I don't think he's holding on to last year's match. Of course he wants to win and he's a competitor, and when he sits down at the table and Ancelotti laughs at him, I have 4 Champions League, you only have 2. It hurts him a little, but I think the main thing is he wants to learn from it, and I think we can even see it because he tries different tactical approaches when he reaches to this stage of the Champions League. He did in the final against, I think it was Chelsea, no defensive midfielder, try different things, and the difference this year, I think he really has started that from January. He started this with Stones and kind of moving in, and in this part of the Champions League now, when the big matches come up, the team is comfortable and fully comfortable with that system. So I think that's one of the lessons that he had learned from his own performances, and I think they still look at this and prepare this as a game as if they would play any other team, knowing that Madrid is a quality team, just like last year. Yeah,
just like last year. We're going to take another break. On the other side of it, we're going to be taking a look at the starting lineups of both teams before we throw to our feed. Stay with us. We're a few minutes out from kickoff and the anticipation is fever pitch inside the Bernabeu. We're going to take a look at the starting lineup now. And obviously Militao is missing because he's out due to suspension, but Antonio Rudiger isn't a bad replacement in this powerful starting lineup for Real Madrid.
I think Rudiger enjoys the physical battle with Haaland, but I think Carvajal, that's where I'm going to look at the battle. Grealish against Carvajal, I think that is part of somewhat the weakness of Madrid. But yeah, familiar lineup for them.
Simon, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, this is Carlo Ancelotti, isn't he? He doesn't pull surprises with his team selections. He keeps it consistent all the way through the season. And Guardiola's done that a little bit more this season as well. He likes to rotate a little bit more, but no surprise at all. I think any of us would have named that lineup last week.
Well, the question is, would we have named this lineup set up by Man City based on what we're seeing? It could be a possible three at the back here. Juan Arango?
Well, it could be, but the big question mark, and of course it's been answered already with Akanji starting at left back. Well, many were expecting him not to play. He was questionable coming into the day. So, yeah, basically we end up seeing the 11 that really got them to this stage of the season, that's got them to this stage of the Champions League. So I don't see any surprises either, to be quite honest with you.
I see, 4-3-3 we saw over there. I do think that he's going to play similar again, with Stones moving into that midfield, with Rodri being the two holding midfielder, and De Bruyne and Gundogan joining higher up on the field there.
All right.
But it is something familiar, I think, what we're going to see from City.
Well, prediction time now, starting with you, Eric.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Madrid.
2-1 to Real Madrid. Simon?
2-1 to City.
Pardon?
2-1 to Manchester City.
Huh. Interesting. Juan?
2-1 Madrid.
Well, somebody's going to be wrong at the end of it all. The moment is at hand. All eyes are now on the Santiago Bernabeu for what could possibly be the match of the season. Footballing stars will literally collide in this one.